This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
It's Monday, folks. It's great to be back here again. And please keep the calls coming. It's always wonderful hearing your thoughts and questions on anything related to finance or otherwise. The number here, 1-800-662-9550. I'm so excited to have my good friend Cynthia Sowu-Perkins here with me in the studio. And how are you today?
I'm doing great.
You're doing wonderful. It's so good to see you, and always nice to have our listeners and you're a dear friend to come in and talk a little bit about our history together, Cynthia. So please share, let our listeners know about the story that is behind all of this.
Thank you so much. And listeners, listen, if you have not called yet, please do that. I did. I was doubting and I was waiting for so long for me to call. But later on, it pays off. It will really pay off. It's just put that faith there and just call. Ask questions, any questions at all. I did. And it benefits me and my family, and we are enjoying our home right now. So it's not just a joke. It's not just like being paid to do something, but this is very, very truthful thing, and I'm a testimony for it.
Well, I just think out of all of this, what I love are the stories, because we've done a lot of purchases and refinances and commercial properties, and you're just such a dear friend because of the process when we were getting you refinanced. And you worked with us. You were always easy to just give us the information that you needed. And we had a few bumps in the road. So I think that I've always told folks that you need to ask the question and know that it's a team effort, because sometimes what happens is you may have issues with getting something fixed in your home. And then the person who's supposed to fix it isn't moving as quickly as they need to. So that's where we also come in, not only just reducing the rate or getting a lower payment in your case, but in this situation, there was other areas that needed to be taken care of, right? With your home?
Yes, that's very true. The thing is, with Sarah, I was able to understand my house, because first I didn't know what I was signing for. I just signed for the house and I'm just in. I don't know what is going on. But with Sarah, I got to know even the construction works, electrical, anything. She called the city for me to know what is going on with my house. Without her, I wouldn't know what to do. Well, actually, she did a lot more than what I was expecting, because being refinancing your house is just like, these are the figures. This is what we have to bring and just sign. That's what I went through for the first time. But the second time, I got to know my house. This is what they have to fix. This is what they have to do. And I got it right, and I was really happy. Now I'm very, very, very happy.
Well, the thing is, when you originally purchased the home, this is very true about Boston properties, that they were actually, the way they're built out is that they're considered to be investment properties as well. So now that you're getting these properties reappraised, they are not categorized or zoned in the right way. So the city has to get involved to make sure that they get zoned properly. And that was in your case. So, I mean, we work with the city, and we work in 37 states. We work with a lot of developers. So we understand what you need to get that done properly and to expedite it. In some cases, with your case, we reduced the rate significantly. I think it was in the threes. It was a fixed rate. We reduced the payment. But essentially, there were some issues with the contractor, and that's something that we come across. They're good contractors, they're bad contractors. It's just a part of life. But at the end of the day, how do you expedite a situation where you're hitting that roadblock? And that's where we come in as well, because it's not just refinancing you. And if you can't get answers from the city or someone else, for that matter, we have that experience to get involved. And I consider you a dear friend, because you're so lovely. You really are. And you were on it. Like, it wasn't me. You were on it.
Yeah, I did. And in my case, to my first one, they put arm on it. If you don't know, it was like there's arm on the on the mortgage,
Right.
which I have to be. They will be increasing it.
Adjustable, yes. It was an adjustable rate.
Yeah, but I didn't want that. I want something fixed,
Right.
that I will be relaxed. I know this is what I'm paying every month, and I will know what I'm paying and what I'm getting. But you make it clear for me, and you open that door for me. So listeners, if you are listening to this, please call. She will talk to you anytime. I'm telling you, she will talk to you.
I love what I do because there's so many stories behind every situation. It really is very fascinating because every person has a different need. And in your situation, you were just very easy to work with. It was just the other factors that were getting in the way of making sure that your property was zoned properly. And now that it is, you don't have issues because in the long term, what happens is if you want to sell that property, that becomes an issue when it goes up for sale. So the situation got corrected. And then you also ended up with a lower rate, and I think it was in the threes. I'm trying to remember,
Yes.
and the payment went down. I think, I
Yeah,
believe.
the payment went down, and I got some money,
You got
and I
some
didn't
cash.
pay for 3 months.
Right.
And I was able to save about 6,000.
Right.
And which is very good. Now I'm paying, but I've increased it by myself because I don't want to pay the lower rate, but I want to pay
More into the mortgage.
into the mortgage,
Right.
into my principal.
Well, that's a good thing about having a fixed rate because there are no penalties, and people don't realize that if you're at a 30-year mortgage, you can easily pay off. Like if you have extra payments, you can pay it off far quicker than if you're in a situation where you're just looking at an adjustable rate. And here's the thing: in the 90s, rates were like in double digits. They were like 10, 12%, and like those days, and people don't realize often enough because we've had rates in the threes and the fours for so long that they're used to it. They're sort of like, oh yeah, it'll be here forever, but it's not going to be here forever.
Forever, yeah.
You know?
So if they call, those people if they can change their rates and their money, I mean, they'll get money into their pockets.
Right.
Yeah.
It is your money because, and folks, if you have questions on this, because there's a lot of different scenarios here that we can work with you on. The number's 1-800-662-9550. But essentially, with properties, there's equity that's built out. So every year that you're paying into the mortgage, usually the value goes up.
Yes.
And in your case, you had enough equity so that you could take some money out as well and reinvest it in other areas. You didn't have to just basically, like a lot of people think paying off their mortgage is a great thing. Well, it's not really because at the end of the day, it's good debt. It's not bad debt. And you can always take cash, invest it in your 401k or the market's in a good space. I don't know if you've invested any money in the market.
Not yet, but I just went to shop around in the banks, and I went to Bank of America, and they said they can give me 30,000 for the equity. And I went to Standard Bank, the Sovereign Bank now is a Standard whatever bank.
Right.
Yeah, they said they will give me, I think, 25. But I was just shopping around, just knowing what is going on, not to take the money now.
Well, the thing is, the banks that are offering rates is you have retail banking and wholesale banking, and that's where we come in with wholesale banking because our rates are lower than retail banking. So if you go to a local bank, then the rates are going to end up being higher. That's just how it is. Like you walk in for 30 days or 31 days, they will have the same interest rate. But with us, the rates change minute by minute because it's actually how it works. Like when you look at the market, that's how the interest rates work. So they are much lower. So when you got the rate with us, it was much lower than if you were going into a local bank.
Oh, okay.
And that gives you the most savings. And most people don't realize that they're paying $300 more on their mortgage each month because you don't see it. You just make the payment.
So you have to call the number. Please call the number. You can know that I'm really, really serious. Call the number and you'll be really, really, things will be open for you. It's not just like keeping it to yourself. I know in my case, I was in a hole, being shut. I don't know what to do. Actually, I need to talk to somebody. And thank God that I spoke to you. And when I spoke to you, I was able to get through.
Well, I do appreciate you coming in. And Cynthia, certainly I consider you a dear friend and a lot of laughter together. And I do encourage folks to call 1-800-662-9550. Call me evenings, weekends. I love what I do. I really enjoy sharing that information for free. Certainly there is, for me, the word no does not exist. So feel free to call me, 1-800-662-9550. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you for having me.
Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.